it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win, yeah. Refuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it. They told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. I sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie. I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me, keep on running. Toes, they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in. No time for the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win, yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in.
Welcome to Refuse to Lose Sports. I'm Joe Jordan. I'm excited about today's show. We don't have David or Tom on, but to fill in they spot today, we got Coach Coon. What's good, Coach?
Hey, how you doing, Joe? Thanks for having me.
Doing good, man. We glad to have you back on the live show, man. For real, glad to have you back on. I know you ready to let it rip today. I know you are, man. So let's make it happen. So yeah, y'all, we're gonna talk about the Chargers clinching the playoff berth, which I feel like it's a long time coming, right? They should have did this with this quarterback. Also, we're going to talk about Sean McVay rumors. Is he going to leave, retire, take a break? And we got to talk about that firing that we witnessed yesterday with the Broncos. But before we get to that, make sure y'all like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share this video with somebody that you know personally so they can come on and watch live with us. Use that comment section. We can see all the comments y'all be jotting down throughout the show. Also, if you're on Instagram, we have separate group chats on Instagram. College basketball, college football, NBA, NFL, baseball. If you want to be a part of those group chats, let us know. Put your IG information in the comment section. Let us know which group you want to be a part of. In those groups, we do trade news, free agency news, injury news, and we do some debating in there. So you want to be a part of that, let us know. And last but not least, enjoy the rest of the show. All right, let's talk about them Chargers. Chargers are in the playoffs. They clinched it. First time Justin Herbert will be in the playoff spotlight. I know you're excited about this, Coach.
I am.
So we want to start with you, man. Now they're in the playoffs. Are they Super Bowl contenders?
That's an easy question. No. No, they're not. No, they're not. I'll be honest with you. I really think they're in the playoffs by default. I mean, the other two teams, we got. Let's take it back to before the season even started, when the entire world had this division as the best division in football. I mean, we were all fooled. Everyone was fooled. Okay, Jesus might have been fooled because man, it is horrible what we are seeing with the Raiders and what we were seeing with Denver Broncos. It's absolutely atrocious. So their record where they are, I had them there, but them in the play. I remember I had them fighting for that last spot because I thought Kansas City would be a 10-7, and they would probably tie with the Chargers because again we had the Raiders and the Broncos ahead of both of them in some talks. So that's why the Chargers none of them had losing records coming into the season as we would have thought it, or as we all thought. But that kind of put the Chargers at the bottom of that category with that great division. But the only two teams that held on were the Chiefs, which is outstanding. They're just playing great football on the defensive end and on the offensive end. And the Chargers, they're in there by default. They do have a better record. They're there because, again, their quarterback for his fourth year in a row has thrown for 4,000 yards. So, again, to me, my biggest issue with the Chargers has always been the coach. He chokes in big time games, which I think is going to happen in the playoffs. To me, he does not call good games unless they have a lead and they're just up and they're just going against a defense that just really can't handle them. He doesn't have a problem then. He goes up against like a team like a Sean McDermott defense, he's in trouble. He goes up against Kyle Shanahan's defense, he's in trouble. Okay, he gets rattled. And then he throws his team into these ridiculous 5-spread offenses, and then they turn the ball over. They're an average team with a good record, a decent record that got them into the playoffs, but I really don't see them doing much damage. That defense is still very, very suspect to me. And the coaching to me is very suspect. So I don't really see them even. They may make it out of the wild card weekend, but then after that, I don't see them making it past that.
Okay. Wow, I'm surprised by your answer. I thought you were gonna say yes. So I'm gonna say yes, man. I'm gonna say that y'all Super Bowl contenders. All right. I know it's surprising coming from me, right? But yeah, I'm gonna say yes. And the reason why is this. My only knock on Justin Herbert was, can you get to the playoffs? That's my only knock on him. So now he's there. And when you have a generational talent like Justin Herbert, if you're in a big dance, you are a Super Bowl contender. Because one thing about the NFL is different from the NBA. There's no 7-game series. It's one and done. So with that quarterback, they're going to beat anybody in the NFL. And if it's, like I said, like it's NFL, right? Not saying they're better than anybody, but they are capable of beating anybody.
Yeah, they are very capable.
Now, all right. Now, you look at them. This is a good opportunity for your take. I know you said coming into the season that Herbert was a top 3 QB. This is his chance to prove that. This is his chance. I think unless you are an MVP, you have to have playoff success to be top 3. All right. Lamar Jackson, he became an MVP, and nobody doesn't put him in the top 3 because of his playoff success. But if you you always go back to the MVP. All right. Aaron Rodgers, he did have a Super Bowl 2 years ago, but he's an MVP. So people still kept him on that top 3 situation. But Justin Herbert has the opportunity to be like, I'm top 3, top 2, or I'm challenging Mahomes. I'm above Josh Allen. I'm above Joe Burrow. I'm above all these guys. All right. So right now, they've been passing the ball very well all year. Obviously, they throw the ball over 40 times a game. What I'm worried about with the playoffs is a rushing attack. Obviously, they don't run the ball at all. They don't have no success at it, even though they have Austin Eckler. But one thing that is encouraging me about them is a defense. With all the injuries they have, they've been playing better in recent games. Right now, they're on a 3-game win streak, allowing 11 points a game. You know, I know that Colts game was like playing a high school team with Nick Foles. All right, but with the Dolphins, they look great against the Dolphins. Right, and they look good. I forget who they played after that. They look good after that too. So all 3 games they haven't allowed 20-point scores. So that's good. And then you got Joey Bosa coming back. He's actually practicing this week, so he will be back.
Okay, that is really actually good for them going into the playoffs. I like that. That does boost that defense up a lot.
That's huge, man. With Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, that's gonna be something.
And honestly, that's what they've been missing. They've been missing that pass rush. It's literally non-existent, and then without it, they cannot do much on the back end of football.
Exactly. And then you realize they've been they've been losing games ever since Keenan Allen went down. You know, and now Keenan Allen has been back. They've been back on track for real.
That's my biggest issue with both the receivers. Like they don't stay on the field for me long enough for these guys to sustain good wins, to have good chances that coming up at a higher seed for the playoffs. It's like they gotta barely make it because they can barely keep their players on the field.
Especially Keenan Allen. God. That dude been hurt all year. Like he came back against the Chiefs. They lost by 3, but it's the Chiefs. And he was 100%. But ever since then, they only lost 1 game to the Raiders. All right, lost to the Raiders. But yeah, man. So I'm gonna say yes, they are Super Bowl contenders because they are in the dance. I'm gonna say yes.
What would have to show it to me is if they have to play the Bills, or I would say if they have to play a top 1 or 2 team and they get past that team, then that will show me how serious this playoff run will be. Which means they can't get. That means they can't get knocked out. They can't get knocked out in wild card weekend.
They have
to make it past that. It's gonna be an exciting playoffs. I really agree. A lot of new faces, a lot of new teams. It's gonna be good.
Especially in the AOC with the quarterback play. You know what I mean? Like I know this Monday coming up.
Quarterback play, by the way.
You said what?
Is young quarterback play like Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, you got Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes. Then we got Justin Herbert. You got Lamar Jackson. You know, so
yes, and thank you for saying his name.
Of
Because
course.
no matter what anybody thinks, he belongs to be in that talk when you talk about great passers. Because I'm sorry, Duvernay and Bateman would not be receivers without Lamar Jackson. Because it ain't like they pass the ball great right now. It ain't like the passing game is good now. So you have to say he's up there top 5 of passing quarterbacks.
And to be honest
At least
with
in
you,
the
man,
AFC.
be honest with you, I'm not trying to kill this man, but Mark Andrews, I think he's who he is because he's the only target.
Yeah.
Look, since Lamar got hurt, what has Andrews done? I'm sorry, I'm not trying to get on Andrews, but I think that Lamar makes him a little better.
Yes, because the game plan makes it that way because they know each other on the field. So it's where I was saying when I was giving Lamar's kudos about where he puts the ball when he's on the run. It's like it's the perfect position for a tight end. You can put any tight end there, to be honest with you, and they will become better or a Mark Andrews. Mm-hmm. So it's really because of where Lamar Jackson can put the ball. It's like a tight end is very important position for a quarterback like Lamar Jackson.
Sure.
So anybody could be put there and will actually have the same success because it's the system. But again, if you don't have that kind of quarterback, it's my same point with Kamara, with Alvin Kamara. He was an absolute beast with Drew Brees. Every time Drew Brees was hurt for a certain amount of time, his numbers were down every single time. And now, you see my point? Because why? Yeah. And who had better numbers? Latavius Murray behind when he was with the Saints. When he played with the backup quarterback. Why? Because he's a hole runner. Alvin Kamara is not a hole runner. He's an outside runner or a space mover. And there's nothing wrong with that. But that's where his game gets limited when he can't be an A and B hole runner.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
His numbers are going to go down.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you. All right, Chargers in the playoffs. That's exciting. All right, so next thing I talk about, Sean McVay, man, rumors. There's been rumors, man. Is he going to take a break? Is he going to retire? There were rumors after they won a Super Bowl. He decided to come back. Now they had this terrible season. And there's rumors that he might take a break. So talk to us about that, Matt.
Okay, so when I tell you I saw that crap on Instagram, boy, I couldn't wait to unload on this one. So look here. I'm not calling Sean McVay a bad coach at all. Trust me when I tell you that. I will never out of my mouth say he is a bad coach. What I will say, he's overrated. He's highly overrated. I'm sorry. Because here's what I mean by that.
Okay.
He has, when Sean McVay was successful with the Rams and a new quarterback, Goff, why was he successful?
Why?
Todd damn Gurley.
Okay.
Period.
Yeah, Todd Gurley was the man.
Period.
So he got hurt.
So and when I tell you, he leaned on Todd Gurley. I mean, hard. And what did that do? That put them in the playoffs every year, right? That let Goff look good every year until Todd Gurley got hurt. And when they couldn't use that kid no more, he pretty much wrote Gurley off. If you didn't see that writing on the wall, the way he got exited out, then you weren't paying attention because he did the same exact damn thing to Goff. The minute Goff couldn't take a hit when the Patriots exposed him in the Super Bowl, he pretty much wrote Goff off from there because it showed within that next season that he has to have a perfect offensive line. The minute pressure come to Goff, it's over, period. He is done for the rest of the game. And so what McVay will do is he will exit you from that, and he will move on as long as he can find the right piece, as long as he can get the piece. But remember, he has to have all the pieces. But without a running game, what has happened to the Rams? They come out the playoffs. They're out of the playoffs. They may have a decent record to get in, but they're getting that playoff ass out of there. But what did they do? They invested all that money because if you don't think Matthew Stafford was a top 5 quarterback between his time in Detroit and his time prior to the Super Bowl era, to the Super Bowl win, then you ain't watching football because that man can throw a football. They just couldn't get it done in Detroit. I don't know why. They just couldn't. I really felt like they wasted a lot of his talent down there in Detroit. But what did he do? He came over to a system that has some weapons for him. Why? Because again, Sean McVay got to have all the right pieces. They threw every dime and dollar and draft pick into that year, and they won. Simple as that. They won. They coughed up 3 first-round draft picks, and they won. And then that elbow went out. So they thought they were going to have another year of this same type of run, but that elbow went out. That elbow needed surgery. And if anybody thought that good quarterback that I just said, if that, top 5, if you thought that was going to happen after an elbow surgery, now you're not watching football. Because where you can be great, something as small as that elbow will take you out for a year. Go ask Cam Newton. Go ask Cam. And here's the thing. The Panthers were actually smart because they shut him down from that first week and said, nope, because they saw enough. They knew they could not go a whole year with that. You can't throw the ball. If you look at a quarterback after that elbow and his trajectory on a spin for 10 yards is perfect, but that arm looked like he pretty much had to give gas and more just to get it that way, he's not throwing the ball 15, 20 yards down the field off of that surgical elbow. It just can't happen. Not right now. I honestly feel like Tommy John surgery with baseball, what do? You out for the whole year if you have to have Tommy John. I feel like if a quarterback has to have that elbow surgery, I believe he needs to be out for a year. I have yet to see a quarterback come from that elbow surgery and have a successful season. I haven't seen it yet. I've seen them go down because of it. And look at he couldn't even finish the season. Now you have no quarterback. You are literally relying on Baker Mayfield. And then remind you have no draft picks for almost, I don't know when the next time they're going to get a first-round draft pick, but you have to go into the next season with both Matt Stafford and a returning elbow and Baker Mayfield. That's really what you want? That's what you do is now you quit, take the gear off so your ass don't get fired for all these decisions that you made and you don't have a team anymore. Because you don't have any money. They have absolutely no income.
They don't. I don't know how they got all the money to get who they got. When they got Barry Wagner, I'm like, what they got?
Yeah, you're right, Kevo. Absolutely, Kevo. If Stay Joe should have stayed away from Cup because that elbow. And actually, you shouldn't have stayed away from Cup if you really think about it. You really should have just sold him high because his first half of the season was actually amazing. Why? Because he was catching these 5-10-yard passes because he can't go no further than that. Stafford couldn't throw any further than that. That's why Goff getting 17 catches in the damn game because he's the quickest guy to get those shorter routes. But what's going to happen to those legs when you keep doing it? Because that's all they did was lean on him. They didn't go anywhere else. You brought Allen Robinson there for God knows what reason. Now, I've always thought Allen Robinson was overrated, but I actually thought this might have been the right system for him. Good quarterback. He's a compliment to Cup. They get a decent running game, but none of that happens because that elbow. It is what it is, but I think, to me, he's taking the year off because he's not going to take the hit for what happens after this year. He can't. His career can't afford it, so yeah, he quitting. I mean, I'm not saying Sean Payton quit, but he quit. He didn't want to deal with the aftermath. And sometimes you don't need to deal with that. He didn't want to deal with the aftermath of no Breeze. His career probably just he didn't want to deal with that. So he just, when Breeze walked, he walked. And that's okay. That's okay. But Sean McVay can't stay. He has to take the year off. He cannot stay. You didn't even sign Odell back. And I told y'all that man wouldn't come back this year.
I know. He's still hurt.
It's still
Dallas though. Dallas begging for this dude.
The Rams right now are going to be a mess for about 3 years. The Rams are going to be a mess for 3 years. The Cardinals are going to be they will be better than the Rams after this year.
See, I think one of the main reasons why they were terrible because of their offensive line. It was bad. But
I can't blame the offensive line when I'm looking at the quarterback not being able to throw the ball past 10 yards.
They had no protection on him though. He had no protection. Early in the season, he had no protection.
But again, they had no money and no draft picks. So again, that's on the coach. I mean, they invested everything into the Super Bowl year.
Yeah,
they invested everything into that year.
See, I'm with you on this. So like I'm not gonna go and say that he's a bad coach. All right. But I get where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. You're saying that things gotta be perfect for him.
Yep.
You gotta have the certain pieces. And that's what they've been looking like, because look at this Rams team. That Rams team did not look dominant last year when they should have. You see what they had on their team, offensively and defensively. even defensively, I know you need the DC, but defensively, they
record
were
was
not
easy.
one of the best defensive teams in the league statistic wise. But we knew they were capable of making big plays because they got Aaron Donald, Von Miller, got Jalen Ramsey, got all these people, right?
They created turnovers and they could score 30 points.
Exactly. And then offensively, they had weapons like crazy too. And then they didn't really click until the playoffs, and then they still almost lost to the 49ers. So it's like you said, things gotta be perfect. He is a great coordinator, a great play caller. He's a great designer. He know how to get people in the right positions. He know how to use your talents in the right way.
Yep.
And I still think he's a good coach. You know what I mean? Because you have to be a good coach to lead all those veterans to a Super Bowl. There are egos involved and all that stuff. You can sign OBJ. You got Von Miller there. Aaron Donald, think he's the best ever.
You got a lot of ego there.
You know, you got Matthew Stafford, who's been in his league for a while, who's just ringless. You know what I mean? So you got all these egos, and he was able to manage that even through tough times. They had tough times throughout that season, you know, and they still won a Super Bowl. So I'm gonna say that, but I don't fault him if he were to take a break, right? I don't fault nobody for making a decision for themselves. But I will say this: the biggest challenge. The challenge is taking the team from the dump to gold, not inheriting gold and keep adding gold to that. And that's what he did with the Rams. He inherited a good team.
Exactly.
And they kept adding good pieces. Now you got to the mountaintop, y'all fell all the way down to the ground. Now it's time to coach. Now it's time to really coach. You know what I mean? And inspire and all that stuff. So if he retires, hey, that's his decision, but he is running from a challenge.
Yes, and this is why guys like my guy Sean McDermott, to me, don't get the credit that they should, because people forget. Yeah, the Bills look great now. What happened to his credit?
Well, Kyle Shanahan too, man.
That crappy Bills team and made them what they are. When a whole dude quit on them during the game, left them hanging out to dry, came back the next week with adversity out of nowhere, and that's when that's when Bills Mafia was born. It was born from that time. And nobody is giving this man credit for building what he built.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So the challenge is taking the team from the garbage and making them into something.
Yeah.
This would have been his opportunity to show how smart you are behind the scenes in the draft room. You know, no scouting players. So that to me, when you leave a team because you don't know what the next. That means you don't know what's supposed to come next, but you should. You made these decisions to get here where you are now. So where are the decisions to build off of that?
Facts. And what's good, Kev? You see a comment. What's good with you, man?
What's good, Kevo?
What's good, man? That was a very good show yesterday, man. I know you I know you can't wait to the playoff. Like I said to you yesterday, Kev. Don't expect the Cowboys knocking on your door. It might be us. Just know that, all right? All right.
I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Don't let these Steelers sneak their behind.
I know.
I told y'all they was gonna end up 9-8. I put it on my Instagram.
Hey, you've been hitting some of the notes, man. You've been doing your thing.
If they win out these last 2 games, they 9-8.
You've been doing your thing with these predictions. Now look, the Saints won, so they messed.
Yeah, they got their little 6. They got 6.
But here's the thing, though: if the Saints win against the Eagles, which I hope they do, no offense to you, Kev, and the Panthers beat the Buccaneers, the winner between the Saints and the Panthers will win the division.
So they gonna have a losing record and still kick my ass and make the playoffs. I'll be so mad.
Hey, I needed Saints to make the playoffs, man, because the Eagles got their first round pick. All right, I need to get to I need them, all right, but we're gonna see. All right, let's go to our last topic. So our last topic we got is, man, your guy, your team, man, my team. I picked them to win the Super Bowl.
Well, I didn't do that. I didn't do that. I had them with a great. And I'm gonna tell you the reason why I didn't, because I said Russell Wilson would win MVP, which MVPs don't win Super Bowls. He ain't doing either.
Yeah, man. So talk to me. Hackett got fired.
So Walmart made a great choice and and fired the coach. Mm-hmm. He was a Walmart coach. I mean, he hired. I mean, the whole. I'll be honest with you right now. The whole Denver system is a joke, and it's not. That's not cool. This is one of the more prestigious organizations in the NFL. And right now they look like a laughing stock. It's not fair. It's really not fair to those fans. In the trajectory and journey that they've gone throughout their entire just existence, this right now, they just look laughable. The coach has no control over his team. I don't know how many fights are starting over there on the bench. It's ridiculous. The backup quarterback is getting his little behind punch with a hat on because he's trying to take up for the quarterback, making up all these doggone mistakes. Okay. Here's the thing. I don't think they wanted to fire him. I think because of what's just happened with the season, you can't continue. Why? Because what you have to do here is you have to actually go and find a coach that believes that they can fix Russell Wilson and all the money that you gave him. Because if you cannot do that, now you got to cut Russ. You can't cut Russ yet. No, they do not. Don't say that. No, they. Why? So he can look like Wentz? See, no, he don't. No, he don't. Find somebody else. Nope. Let that man not coach in the NFL again. I don't think so. I don't care. Nope. Make him a defense coordinator and he don't need to be the head coach. Nope. They have to find somebody to fix Russell Wilson. They do. I don't, and that's the thing. I don't think Hackett was the problem because the defense wasn't the issue. The running game necessarily.
Oh, your volume. I can't hear you. Your volume was off.
Oh, there we go. I'm good.
There we go. Yeah, there you go.
The running game wasn't the issue as much. It was more so they couldn't keep. They lost one of their better running backs, and I'm really not sure why they cut Melvin Gordon. That was weird to me. And then they really didn't replace him. You can't replace Melvin Gordon with Latavius Murray. I don't know what decisions they were making. They weren't good decisions. And if that's the coach, then yeah, you gotta let him go because a lot of the decisions that were being made when the games weren't on were absolutely stupid. They were dumb decisions. I just didn't understand it. And then there go Cortland Sutton, barely playing football again. It's a head scratching situation. The defense, who has tried to play great all season, was just getting no help on the offensive side of the ball. There's no way you can throw 300 yards in a game and you score no touchdown. That's baffling to me. There's no way in that same game where you threw for 346, you were in the red zone at least 5 to 6 times and you came up with no touchdowns. You were on the goal line 3 to 4 times, came up with no touchdowns. Like, what the hell? Like, what do you not see? The line is here. Your foot is here. What the hell? Cross that. Like, what do you think? This season for the Denver Broncos was laughable and unfair. I don't know what happened. Maybe this coach combination with the quarterback didn't mix, and hopefully they can find somebody that can make it work with Russell Wilson. Because if not, then it's Russ, and then you're just not in a good position again for another year. I don't know what they plan on doing moving forward. You have to play him because you paid him all that money. But you have to get a coach, I guess, that you believe can coach with him. I don't know. Oh God, I don't know. But the firing of Hackett, it needed to happen because I believe he just completely lost the control of the locker room. There was, they were trying to, and the blame goes everywhere. The blame goes everywhere but the defense, period. The blame goes everywhere but the offensive line. The offensive line and the defense, they are untouchable in this scenario. It's everybody else. Receivers can't stay healthy. Quarterback can't throw the ball. They have no running game. It's just, special teams. Where was they at? Where was special teams this season? So the entire team was a joke. And here's another bad news. They better not pop up on HBO next season. They ain't gonna win.
Yeah, they're gonna. Yeah,
they will lose. They bet because I don't know who decided to put the Cardinals in the halfway show, but look what happened to their quarterback. So you go on that HBO show. I don't even watch it anymore because I think it's a curse to teams that go on that show. I don't, out of respect for the NFL and the love of my sport, I do not watch that show, Hard Knocks. I can't do it because every team that has gone on Hard Knocks has come out in that season with a horrible year. I just can't do it.
See,
I can't watch it.
See, the Broncos, man, they are disappointing, obviously. Now, look, Coach, if you'd have told me this, right? If the Broncos were your favorite team coming into this year, and I would have told you, hey, Coach, we're going to fire. We're not going to keep our coach we had last year. We're going to go and get an offensive coordinator for the reigning MVP, all right, of Aaron Rodgers. We also are going to get a guy who's a Super Bowl champion, who's known to be a top 5 at times quarterback in the NFL. And, all right, and the defense is going to get better. This defense might be top 3, top 2 in the league next year. You're going to be like, Super Bowl, here we come.
Here we go.
Here we come. Man, the thing is, they are worse everywhere in offense from last year. Worse. They already got more losses with 2 games left. They were worse in passing, worse in rushing, worse in points per game, worse in third down conversions, worse in red zone. How you have the best red zone defense and you the worst red zone offense? Imagine playing for that defense. You know how terrible that is? You know how sickening that is to be out there on defense and constantly be on the field goal. They're getting 3 and outs, but yet you're still producing as a top 3 defensive team in the NFL. That's crazy, man. So I thought against the Rams, that team was like, man, we give up. That defense is like, man, we tired, man. We want Hackett fired. And then look, obviously it got to be a scapegoat. The scapegoat is always a coach. And you got to look at it from the Walmart family's point of view. They did not pick Hackett. Hackett was there before they got there.
Right.
So they got to get their coach. And why wait another year? They got the money. We'll eat that contract. You out there. We'll find somebody else. Right? Their news with Sean Payton, like knowing them, they got money. They're going to try to get Sean Payton, in my opinion.
I think so.
Right? Sean Payton already talk about putting together an all-star coaching staff, right, for next year. So that's that. Now going forward, obviously, now Russell Wilson, he played back. All right, now he played back. There are a lot of times where guys were wide open and he would throw into a contested throw. Also that coach didn't have control of the team. They fight on the sideline on Christmas Day. Like, come on now, right? It's Christmas. So I thought that was the right idea. And Russ, you gotta redeem yourself, man. $250 million. Like, come on, man. You gonna have to redeem yourself, because if Russ is repeating what he did last year next year, then we know it wasn't the coach. It was definitely Russell Wilson. So all the spotlight is on him. He is in a do or die moment of his career, because I don't think another team will pay him. Like, with that contract, how is he going to get out that contract? How the Broncos get out that contract? They have
to fix it
him and keep him on the roster. That's what they have to do.
So here's what they would do. Here's what you do. Go get Josh Jacobs so you can have another running back with Devontae.
Would you pay Josh Jacobs though? You just pay Russ all that money.
You can, because he a free agent. He don't want
to get paid.
Now that's if a team pays him. Now don't get me wrong. He had a Pro Bowl year this year. He played out of all those people that were on the chopping block. He stayed. So his value may be a little higher than what they can afford, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's high.
Then I guess the only thing you can really do right now is just bring in, like you said, an all-star coaching staff that can fix this. You have to run the ball. You can't rely. You can't rely on Russell Wilson throwing the ball. You have to figure something out. Okay, one of the biggest defects to Russell Wilson's game was always his height. But he can move, and he had a big arm.
And he didn't move as much as Jeff. Go ahead.
He's getting older. That arm ain't gonna get stronger. That arm gets shorter. Go ask Tom Brady. He really out here trying to play against Father Time, and Father Time showing on who Daddy is. You get older. I'm sorry. Your body gets older, and you are playing a brutal sport. It doesn't sustain. You're not meant to sustain. They're trying to, and then all of them collapse like this. Like, I get it. Kirk Cousins is having an absolutely amazing year, as I predicted he would. Not an MVP year.
Yeah,
I'm meaning just a great year that they can win. And it's because of him. It's him. He's putting up big numbers in games. He's doing up 2-3
key moments too.
Exactly. Don't get me wrong. He still has his little primetime issues, but they didn't have that many primetime games this year. I think they had 2, and he lost those 2. But next year, you ain't gonna see this Kirk Cousins next year. No, this is it. This is it. This is it.
As long as
he'll be good. I think he'll be good, but he ain't gonna be. You're not getting this next year. You're not getting chain wearing Kirk Cousins next year. Hell no. He will be. His numbers will drop. The Vikings, I don't even think will be this good next year, especially if they lose the Super Bowl. If they're there against the Bills, they're gonna have a hangover. So they, as you say,
the Vikings and Bills, you on track, my man. But look, I do want to say something real quick about Russ. We had an episode here, and we were talking about the top 10 quarterbacks, and Lamar wasn't on there. And I was saying, like, Lamar should be over Russell Wilson. And people were like, what? You tripping? No. This is what I said back then, Coach. I said, why is it every year Russell Wilson starts off as a favorite of an MVP candidate? Like he always pops off, and like by week 5, he's the MVP favorite. Like he's killing. And then he falls off a cliff towards the end of the season. And also, when they get to the playoffs, every year, and they get bounced in the first game, and he plays terrible every single time. So this year is basically telling the story. You know what I mean? It's telling us. And I think was that you that mentioned that Pete Carroll? You talk about like his system, right? Like
that was what I did my little when I put Russ in the doghouse.
Oh yeah, you did, yeah. So it all makes sense coming back and and coming back in full circle. He literally was brought here to carry them because they were quote unquote a quarterback away last year. If they had a quarterback, they won 7 games with Teddy Bridgewater.
And that's why I specifically said I will put them at 13-4. I will put the Broncos at 13-4 this year because Russ has to win the MVP. If he is playing at an MVP caliber level, they go 13-4. But I was specific about saying MVP because why?
You got that record backwards?
Because the reason why he had to put up those numbers because he's never won MVP. He's in this entire career, and I was always worried about that because I watched Seattle play. I watched what they were doing, and it was so much more than Russell Wilson winning those games. Half of that decade was what? The dang on defense. Hell, the Super Bowl win was because of the defense. Mm-hmm. The first snap of the game, Peyton Manning lost the ball behind his head. It was over after that. The defense won that game, not Russell Wilson. He didn't win that game.
Yeah, that defense went crazy. 8 points.
And then when he wanted to win the game, some rando Malcolm Butler picked him off and made a name for himself in the Super Bowl that the Seahawks should have won. You know, when you don't put the quarterback above your team, you win Super Bowls.
And you know what's crazy? He never got criticized for that. It was always Pete Carroll.
You see what I'm saying?
The call. But nobody never said like rush through the pass.
Right. Let's remember that now. It brings me back to when Beast Mode said that, look, if I gotta contact your manager just to talk to you, we don't need to conversate. See, a lot of people don't pay attention. There's been some locker room things with Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? Like when he came out and blasted the offensive line that one year on the radio show, right? But let's remember one thing.
He did.
Russ, you hold on to the ball for a long time.
Yeah.
You've always done that. That wasn't something new. That's what you do. So how you going to blame an offensive line that's actually only supposed to be blocking you at best for 7 seconds? And that's in a shotgun. A shotgun. Yeah. You cannot ask these 300-pound men to really be blocking more than 3 to 5 seconds on an average basis. You cannot.
Take too many sacks.
It's just a lot of this was Russ, and a lot of things were blinded because of his miraculous 4-quarter crazinesses that he does. But let's forget he played like doo-doo for 3 quarters.
Tom Brady.
Let's really think about something. Was Tebow really that bad when you look at some of the things Russell Wilson was doing in some of these games? Like, come on, man. Come on, man.
You compare him to Tebow.
I'm comparing him to Tebow because, I mean, let's really look at it. Like, he doesn't put up MVP numbers. If you go look at Russell Wilson's numbers, they're average.
He had 1 year, though. He threw 40 touchdowns.
And what did that get him?
He didn't even get an MVP vote that year, too. That's crazy.
I think he had too many turnovers. I have to go back and look at that, but I think he had a lot of turnovers with them 40 touchdowns. But to me, if you put the right pieces around Russ, you'll be fine. If you call the right things around Russ, you'll be fine. Again, beast mode ran the ball. They got to the 45-yard a lot and didn't move. And Russell was the quarterback. But who saved their ass? The kicker. The defense creating turnovers. Like, you gotta look at these games for what they really are. Like, was Russ really winning a lot of these games? Because a lot of the times they would stall. And when you look at Geno, they don't stall. They consistently move the ball. Now, I will tell you, since the running game hasn't been there, that's why they've been losing games. They have to have that system has to have the complete package. And if it doesn't, it's going to take some hits.
Right. All right, man. We're going to wrap this up. Before we wrap this up, make sure you like this video. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share with somebody that y'all know so they can come on and watch it live with us. Well, sorry, we are about to end this so they can go back and watch it live. We're going to break these videos up into 3 different segments so you can go back and watch, a particular segment you want to see. All right. Also, on IG, Instagram, we have a college basketball chat, college football chat, baseball chat, NBA chat, NFL chat. In those chats, we debate in there. People go back and forth all the time. If you love sports, you love that. Also, we give out trade news, rumors, free agency news, rumors, injury reports, any big news before all the major platforms like Bleacher Report, Sports Center, all those places, ESPN. You'll get it before that. All right. If you want to be a part of that, put your IG in the chat or in the comment section and let us know which group or groups you want to be a part of. All right. And we're going to get our last words in. All right. So, Coach, all right, I want you to give us some last words and also talk about what you got stored for us for your podcast.
Last words, Chicago. Chicago Bears, put more respect into that head coach. Put some more respect into that head coach. I think the Chicago Bears will be just fine. I don't think the quarterback is Justin Fields.
Snap, for real?
I really don't. I don't give a damn how much he can run. You got 1,200-something yards. You got 4 wins on the season. You can't throw. They need a quarterback. The coach, I think if he has a complete team, I think the Chicago Bears will be a contender in just a few short years, maybe even less. But they got some pieces they got to work on. They got the first-round draft pick. I would not be surprised if it's a quarterback. Kansas City Chiefs, Mahomes, you are this year's MVP because you are balling, my dude. You are absolutely balling.
Yes.
Moving forward with On the Field podcast, I will be moving over to a live segment. I got a couple more pieces I got to hit up Best Buy to get. But I'm going to be working on some streaming things, and I will be going live here soon. I want to get everything set up because I want to do it prior to the last game of the season and going into the playoffs. Won't be doing a lot of predicting, but I'll be doing a lot of good talking. Some of these things I might even talk through the games while they're on.
Let's go.
Like that. Yeah. So I'm going live here soon so that I can get ready and get some practice in before we start the podcast going next year. But I'm really excited about that. And thank you, Joe, for that encouragement. So I'm really excited to bring you guys some good content with my live face.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that, man. You really good at what you do. I'm pretty sure people would rather see you. Like your Spotify show is like, I'm just I know how you are. So I'm like, when you go in your rants, I'm trying to visualize it. I'm like, I wish you was on live so I could see it. Real good entertainment, man, and you know your stuff at the same time. That's what this is about. It's about entertainment and knowing what you're talking about. Some people have one or the other. Only a few have both. All right, so you're good at that, man. So, all right, y'all. That's all we got for y'all today, and we'll see y'all next episode. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all the next episode.